In the wild, few creatures punch above their weight like the weasel. This fearless predator has taken on animals that would terrify most of its kind. From ambushing full-grown rabbits 4 times its size, to chasing down ground squirrels in a blur of violence, and even going face-to-face with adult cats. It's a tiny warrior with a savage streak. In a tense showdown on a cold concrete floor, a sleek dark brown weasel locks its jaws onto the tail of a larger gray rat. The rat struggles to break free, scrabbling in every direction, but the relentless weasel hauls it backwards with surprising strength. For a moment, the weasel slips, but quickly regains control, dragging its prey with renewed determination. The fierce tug of war ends as the weasel shifts its focus, now gripping the rat near the head. The rat lies still, the battle seemingly decided in the predator's favor. A desperate rat darts frantically through the underbrush, but hot on its heels is a weasel, sleek, swift, and utterly relentless. And with every twist and turn, the cunning predator closes the gap, its hunger driving a tireless pursuit. The rat makes a final, frantic dash for safety, but the weasel is faster, sharper, and perfectly in control. In a flash, it lunges, cutting off the escape. The chase ends not with a struggle, but with the silence of nature's brutal efficiency. In a quiet patch of dry grass, a rabbit sits motionless, unaware of the danger creeping in. From the left, a small brown weasel with a white underside slink into view, inching closer to its unsuspecting target. And the rabbit bolts forward in a sudden burst, but it's too late. The weasel leaps and latches onto the rabbit's neck with lethal precision. The rabbit thrashes and kicks, but the weasel holds firm, its grip unyielding in this savage moment of survival. A small rabbit hops across a sunlit paved path, deaf to the whisper of death closing in. In a flash, a weasel strikes, latching onto the rabbit with razor-sharp precision. The two tumble and struggle, locked in a fierce battle, but the weasel never lets go. Dragging its prey across the unforgiving pavement and into the grass, the predator's grip is relentless. As the rabbit's movements fade, the weasel disappears into the vegetation. Across a frozen, snow-blanketed landscape, a blur of motion erupts as a weasel lunges at full speed, striking its target with ruthless precision. It latches onto a fleeing rabbit, and the two tumble into a flurry of white. And the rabbit kicks and thrashes, scattering snow in all directions, but the weasel's grip is ironclad. With chilling resolve, the predator begins to drag its struggling prey across the icy terrain. Each pull takes them deeper into the silent, unforgiving wilderness. On a patch of sparse grass and dirt, a light brown weasel crouches over a lifeless rabbit, its fur streaked with the marks of a fierce battle. The weasel bites and tugs, shifting its position as it works methodically over the fallen prey. Its movements are swift, precise, driven by instinct and hunger. The scene is quiet now, but the tension of the hunt still lingers in the still air. Nature's cycle continues, raw and unflinching. A weasel moves swiftly from left to right, soon joined by a second one emerging from the opposite side. They've both been searching, and now their focus sharpens. The first weasel turns back, and together they converge on a cat lying motionless on the ground. One nudges the cat gently, while the other circles, alert and curious. There's a moment of quiet interaction, tense with uncertainty. Then, as if their search is done, one weasel slips away, disappearing to the left. A weasel comes face to face with a cat. What madness! Is this tiny predator just passing by, or does it have bigger, bolder plans? Don't be fooled, this isn't a squirrel, it's a fierce carnivore that can take down rabbits 4 times its size. The cat looks calm, but the weasel is fired up, charging, swiping, showing who's boss. In a dimly lit enclosure, chickens of all colors, white, brown, black, peck calmly at the dirt, unaware of the creeping threat. A long shadow glides across the floor, a silent omen as they cluck and scatter around the hanging feeder. Suddenly, a weasel slinks in from the right, and the flock erupts in alarm, flapping and retreating. The predator prowls the pen, weaving close to its feathered targets, but the chickens stay sharp, keeping just out of reach. After a tense standoff, the weasel slinks away, vanishing as quietly as it came. In the stillness of a grassy clearing, a marmot sits unaware until a blur of brown fur explodes into view. A weasel lunges from the right, pouncing with precision and latching onto the marmot's head. The two animals roll and thrash in a fierce struggle, the marmot fighting back as the weasel clings tightly to its neck. Gradually, the marmot weakens, its movements fading as the weasel drags the limp body toward a large rock. Moments later, the predator re-emerges, pausing to scan the surroundings before vanishing into the wild once more. On the side of a remote road, a weasel launches a sudden attack on a ground squirrel, kicking off a wild pursuit across dirt and rocky terrain. The squirrel scrambles to escape, but the weasel is relentless, closing in with every burst of speed. The chase ends near the grassy edge, where the predator latches on and begins dragging its prey into the brush, then they vanished. This clip captures just how reckless, fearless, and relentless a mother weasel can be. She charges through the grass at full speed, hunting anything that crosses her path. Her mission, feed her baby, no matter the risk. She even rolls an egg from a nest all the way back to her den, wasting no time. This isn't just instinct, it's raw, wild power in motion. When prey is abundant, the weasel transforms from a hunter into a tireless exterminator, eliminating every rodent it can find in its territory. In these feasts of excess, the brain becomes the prized delicacy, while the rest of the kill is carefully stashed away for leaner times. Yet often, these hidden caches go untouched, forgotten as the weasel moves on. Driven by instinct, it scours even the hollowed trunks of clipped trees, where it hunts down rats, dispatches them swiftly, and conceals the bodies within. In times of plenty, the weasel prepares for scarcity with deadly precision. At certain times of the year, birds can make up nearly half of a weasel's diet, but even that isn't enough to sustain a stable, well-fed life. These predators rely heavily on rodents, their primary food source, to fuel their high-energy existence. When rodent populations drop, the impact is immediate and severe. In response to the shortage, female weasels halt reproduction entirely, a stark biological survival strategy. For them, scarcity means silence in the dens where kits might have been. Weasels aren't just hunters on the ground, they're skilled climbers too, and even birds aren't safe. In one daring raid, a weasel scales a tree with ease, slipping into a nest hidden deep within a hollow. Moments later, it emerges with a bird clenched tightly in its jaws, vanishing into the branches like a shadow. The mother bird returns soon after, calling out in distress, but the nest is silent. A harsh reminder that in the wild, even the skies offer no sanctuary. The weasel may be small, but it's a fierce force of nature, relentless, cunning, and built for survival. From towering trees to underground burrows, no place is safe when this predator is on the hunt. Whether outwitting larger foes or stockpiling prey for the future, it rules its world with sharp teeth and sharper instincts. In the wild, size doesn't decide the winner, will does.
Did you enjoy this video? Please let us know in the comments section down below. And don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And please, turn on your notifications bell to get notified when we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.